on this computer. For those of you who may not be familiar with our organization, Startup Junkie exists to serve entrepreneurs, innovators, small business owners. We do that largely through one-on-one consulting, workshops, events, just like this one here today. Essentially, we do what we can to connect. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a phone. We do what we can to connect entrepreneurs to resources within our community to help them kind of overcome the barriers that might be in the way and preventing someone from starting or growing a business. And as a part of this program, we partner with, let me get my screen up here. All right, can everybody see that? All right, we partner with our friends at the Bessie B. Moore Center for Economic Education, and that is Ms. Rita, Dr. Rita, if you would like to introduce yourself.
So Rita Littrell, Director of the Bessie Moore Center for Economic Education, and I also work jointly with Economics Arkansas, and Marsha Masters, I think, is on a meeting webinar right now. So I will speak for both parties, but both of us are here to help teachers integrate economics into whatever subject you're teaching. And we have lots of resources we love to share with you. We are happy to meet with you and consult and talk about what you're teaching specifically. We'll do programs for a team of teachers. However we can help you to integrate economics, we're happy to do that. And this is one project that I personally really like, is working with Startup Junkie and bringing entrepreneurship to the forefront for teachers so that teachers can share it with their students, because we're looking for the next Sam Walton or whatever other entrepreneur bringing great opportunities to Arkansas.
Awesome. And today we'll introduce you to 3 local businesses, or I say local Arkansas-based businesses, introduce you to some entrepreneurs that you will have the opportunity to learn from today. As far as our agenda, we've got video clips for most of them, and then we'll give them the opportunity to speak to the audience and address, just kind of tell their story. And then we'll give everyone the opportunity to ask some questions. And of course, if you've participated in any of these before, you know that there's going to be trivia at the end with some prizes based on what you've learned today. So stay tuned and, of course, obviously pay attention. And first up, we have a video on the Carpenter family, who be our small business entrepreneur group first. So without further ado, here's this video.
Growing fruits and vegetables is a very personal thing for the family that you're about to meet. The Carpenter family, who lives in Arkansas, working hard to bring fresh food to you and spend quality time together on the land. Little Rock, Arkansas's River Market sits right along the banks of the Arkansas River. As you might expect, farm fresh produce is one of the draws.
Welcome to Little Rock, Arkansas.
One vendor that's been popular with buyers for decades is the Carpenter family, selling and sharing produce grown on their extensive family farm.
Everything been good?
Everything has been wonderful.
How's everybody? Good to see you all. Okay, wonderful.
Heading up the Carpenter contingent here is Abraham Carpenter Jr.
Abraham, everywhere I've seen here today, and you're doing it now, all I see are smiles.
Well, I got a lot to be grateful for, Rob.
The Carpenter stand is one of the largest at the market, and the family's produce has made them known statewide.
People have a choice. You know, they have a choice. There's probably 100 other vendors here, but the majority of them, you know, they're going to come and they're going to patronize our business if they buy from other vendors, which I'm happy that they do to keep everybody, spread all the love around. But they make sure that they take care of us.
I love it. I love their personalities. They're great. They help out. They're very friendly, and of course, you can negotiate some prices on occasion. So I love coming. I feel like I'm at home with them. I've gotten to know them over the past several months, so it does feel like home.
Most of my customers are my friends. They come and purchase their products and take care of me, and in return, I treat them by giving them the quality products that they need, and excellent service.
And a couple of
As well
free
as
ears of corn I
that's
saw
right.
earlier.
Exactly, exactly. You know, I've learned over the years it never hurts to give.
The Carpenters' success began with an experiment some 40 years ago, when Abraham's mother, Katie, started the family farm with 1 acre and a dream.
She was working 1 acre of land and made more off of that 1 acre of land than my dad made off of his whole job that year. He was working at a lumber company. He said, now if you can do that, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna start growing produce full time. And that's what he did.
Today, the family's farm in Grady has grown to 1,500 acres, raising more than 30 varieties of fruits and vegetables. In addition to family members working the land, the Carpenters hire some 50 seasonal workers, making them one of the largest employers in their rural community. The Carpenters' produce will make its way to supermarket shelves from Chicago to California.
You know, it's all fun and games at the market,
Yes, it is.
but you get here on the farm,
Yeah.
and it is a lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work, it really is.
On this day, Abraham, one of his sisters, and 2 of his brothers are bringing in cucumbers from the field.
We may put in 16, 20 hours a day, 6, sometimes 7 days a week.
In addition to long hours, the Carpenters, like most farmers, face challenges from the weather. This season, high winds and heavy rains from the tail end of a hurricane took their toll.
You know, you took a big hit this year with you lost all your greens.
All my greens, all
It's
my
$1 million
melons.
hit.
Yes.
Your watermelons, how
Yeah.
much of a loss is
About
that?
a $500,000 hit. Most people, they see the finished product coming to the market and at the grocery stores, but they don't realize I probably invest over $1 million each year in my crops to produce them.
Weathering the storms, the Carpenters credit family togetherness for seeing them through.
We just kept working, saving us a little money, bought us some land, and that was it. All the kids growed up, and they worked.
Turnips, okra, all that was picked, peas, all that was picked yesterday.
And I saw these peas. You know, I spent hours as a kid shelling these things by hand, and now
Yeah.
they're coming out by the hundreds.
Yeah, we have a pea sheller that you can pour a bushel or 2 bushels in and shell them in about 2 to 3 minutes.
Abraham's been working the farm since he was a child. Those efforts, with the help of his family, have won the Carpenters accolades in Arkansas, awards for their impact on the community, inductees into the Arkansas Black Hall of Fame, Regional Farm Family of the Year, and recognition by the Arkansas Agriculture Hall of Fame.
I hate to say it, but I have to. He's the best. He can do the work, he can tend to the business, and he do everything just about it.
Well, he had a good mama.
Sure enough.
And a good daddy.
And I taught them well. Love everybody, regardless the color or caste.
As for the future, Abraham says it's farming and faith that will see them through.
I want to make sure that I do a great job at what we're doing. I want to fine-tune what we're doing. We're going to keep on doing the same thing that we started, raising vegetables, providing quality products, excellent service, and giving thanks to God.
All right. And Rita, you mentioned that they would be coming in just a little bit later. So what we'll do is when they're here, we'll give them the opportunity to speak to everybody, introduce themselves. I don't know about y'all, but if you have ever shelled peas as a kid, seeing that 5-gallon bucket full of black-eyed peas stresses me out.
Well, I was just thinking the role technology played in, making things like that easier. I mean, look at
Absolutely.
the technology, the conveyor belts, the washing the cucumbers, all of the things that were shown in that video.
Absolutely. And our next entrepreneur is Carl Dunn. Carl Dunn worked with him previously, through my role at Startup Junkie, had the opportunity to meet him, 1 Million Cups and other entrepreneurial related events. And I apologize, we had a video from an article that was done, or a feature that was done on KNWA a couple of months ago. But the website, the link to that article, they've removed the video for whatever reason, or the video file is not working. So we have a picture from it. But I'm going to give Carl the opportunity to share his story himself rather than the video. So, Carl, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. First off, thank you, Caleb, for having me, and Miss Rita. I really appreciate y'all for doing this, because this is important to everybody. Economics is, and to the community as well. But my story is pretty simple. I actually used to own a pizza place, and it didn't work. And I started, the pandemic came, and I was doing digital marketing, and somebody in my group, basketball group, actually, I play basketball. It's like 20 guys on there. Somebody texted and like, hey, this was 2 years ago in 2020, and like, hey, can somebody do a fence for me? And I was like, I need the money. This digital marketing is not working. The pizza thing didn't work. So I was like, yeah, I can do a fence. And that's kind of how it started. I did the fence, and in that community, and when we started doing that one fence 2 years ago, I got 3 other fences, like 3 jobs in the course of doing that job. I guess, people notice when you do a good job. Also, we make sure we communicate, and we go over and above and beyond from a customer service standpoint, because that's like an unknown in the contractor world. If anybody is familiar with contractors, they don't always communicate, but I'm not going to bash my own industry. We just try to do it a little bit better and a little bit different when it comes to communicating with our clients and prospective clients to ensure that there are no questions or ambiguity when it comes to the work or the price. And I think that's my story, really. Somebody needed a fence, and now we've kind of grown. I've got 2 part-time employees, 1 full-time employee. I'm getting my commercial license as well. It's kind of a natural progression where we move from doing fences. We've done remodels. We've done outdoor structures. I'll give Caleb my website so you guys can go and look and see some of the things we've done, not just fences. We do a multitude of things, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be able to do this. It's peaceful out here. It is hard work, but I really don't have to answer to anybody, which I really like. I can make my own schedule. So I think that's what an entrepreneur really works so hard for, is the freedom that comes along with being an entrepreneur. Yeah, it is hard work, and it's tough to balance all the things that come with being your own boss. But if you can manage it all and do everything, you can find peace. At least I have in the storm, because there are the hard days, especially like they were saying with weather, taking out their crops. With me, we can't work if it's raining or if it's snowing. And if you see behind me, I'm having to break up this snow because I almost fell twice. I'm out on the job right now. So we have to, contend with the elements outside. So that's, even with all that, it's still a great job for me. I like what I'm doing. I actually went to the University of Arkansas for woodworking with Mr. Stone. So this was in 2012. I mean, that's when I had the pizza place, and it was really awesome. We got to build like Adirondack, if I say that right, chairs, bird houses, small stuff, but I got to use a lot of different tools there at the university. And my dad, he was a master painter as well. So I've been kind of doing a little bit of construction since I was a kid. And I just kind of liked it, and it's kind of grown from there. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity to be able to do it.
Awesome. We appreciate that. We'll do questions. I think, Rita, you want to do questions after we go through the 3rd video and then just turn it over?
Yes, I think so.
Awesome. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate that.
Not a problem. No problem.
We'll have some questions for you, including myself, here in just a second. All right, and our 3rd, and so the group from the ladies from Black Paper Party couldn't make it today. We're unable to attend. However, I'm going to get this video pulled up from them, and we'll connect you if you're interested in knowing more and connecting with them. We will make sure you have the opportunity to. All right, here is the video we have on them. Oh. Facebook. Gotta love it. Right, can everybody see that?
Diversity into seasonal products. Representation and diversity into seasonal products. Meet the founders of Black Paper Party.
I'm Jasmine Hudson.
I'm Jaren Merchant.
And I'm Madia Willis, and we're the founders of Black Paper Party. I met Jasmine and Jay after I moved to Arkansas to work in product development for a major retailer. Jasmine and Jay were running community-focused blogs, so they plugged me into my new life right away. We knew that we each had a unique skill set, but the same goal, to provide authentic representation of Black families and to spread joy during the holidays. So, through intense brainstorming sessions, we started Black Paper Party. We launched the brand in September of 2020 when America was still reeling from the murder of George Floyd, and there was an increased focus on equity in the country. With everything going on in the world, we wanted to provide gifting solutions that would help people focus on what matters most, spending time and making memories with loved ones. Black Paper Party offers thoughtfully designed, trend-relevant wrapping paper, gift bags, and ornaments. And when you see our designs, you know it's going to be a party.
What a cute idea. I think a lot of people, if you don't realize it, if you're not in a position where when you look at wrapping paper or even greeting cards and you never see someone like yourself, or if you have little kids, so for them to see, you know, little brown kids on a package, like it makes a difference. It really does sometimes.
And you
know?
said, I mean, you still have little kids, so to be able to use the wrapping, and I think packaging is such an important part of a gift.
And they go beyond, are they going beyond Christmas?
Yeah, so it was so popular, and I'm so jazzed for them that their whole family, they are actually going beyond Christmas and now doing all year celebrations. So check that out for 2022.
All right. Pull this back up. Well, it's not want to work now. All right, now we can turn it over to full-blown Q&A. So actually, I will go ahead and stop screen sharing. So if you have a question for Carl or Rita or Abraham and his daughter on.
I do not. No, I have not seen them appear. I'm trying to eagerly watch. He said they had a doctor's appointment, but he should be done in time, which I kind of chuckled because when I go to the doctor, it's never very fast.
Well, hopefully they'll join us here in a minute. So, Carl, you're up. Anybody has questions for Carl, throw them at him. I'll start by asking, so from what you were doing previously in digital marketing and to go to something that is more hands-on, physical, and just completely different field in general, what were some ways that you kind of helped yourself transition as far as like resources that you sought out? How'd you go about, you know, making that change?
Well, I think one is I had familiarity with the industry from a construction standpoint, and I did use my network because we networked a lot, going to like the Firehouse Sub Fridays, the stuff, you know, startup crawls that you guys were doing. I'm so happy that's coming back this April. Things like that, I was able to build relationships. So I kind of transitioned those relationships into potential customers and clients because I still kept a book of business, even though it was a small book. Once they, you know, everybody has a home, you know, or they live somewhere that they want upgraded or added something to it. So they seen what I was able to do. So I turned quite a few existing relationships into customers right off the bat, and I think that's what helped me to kind of get running, is building those relationships. You never know. I had heard this old saying is, you know, you make a friend first before you can make a business transaction, and I think that is what those relationships kind of built up on, and just people knew that, you know, I'm trustworthy as far as not going to tell you one price and it's going to be something else, and we're going to do a good job when we come do it, and I think people seen that, and so my existing relationships and networking helped me to transition a little bit better, especially although the digital marketing wasn't taking off, because it's a lot of work, as you know. It's a whole different job when you post to social media. I built websites. I built my own website, but sometimes people just don't know what they want on those websites. So you got to, you know, get the information out of them. So it's a whole different ball game, and this is a lot easier. So I think the transition that made it so easy was those existing relationships that were built during the digital marketing and the pizza for that matter.
Jennifer in the comment or chat says, what factors went into deciding the price range or the price you charge for your labor in the industry you're in?
Well, we did a little bit of market research. Obviously, I was familiar with market research in the business, you know, opening up a pizza place and just doing the digital marketing. So what we did is we looked at housed Angie's List, and we also called other companies that were doing what we wanted to do as far as fences, and that's where we started, fences and decks, to see what the price in the market was to kind of compare, and then we kind of stayed under that, and so we wanted to make sure we were competitive so we can be aggressive in taking market share, and it was just simple as calling another company that does fences or that does decks and get an estimate from them, and then once you get so many, we put them down. And, those changes because we're dealing with commodities, we're dealing with wood and lumber. They go up and down, as you can see with some of the stuff that's going on geopolitically. You can see things will go up and down, whether it be gas, inflation, or just so much money in the system. So the way we did it is we just try to stay competitive and to maintain market competitiveness and actually take market share versus outpricing ourselves out of the market.
Did the cost of lumber that everybody, kind of saw cost of lumber go up over the last, year or so? Did those rate increases impact business as far as just, individuals, whether or not, maybe they decided to hold off on a project?
Well, maybe at the tail end of the and obviously I think we're still in the pandemic, but in 2021, you could start seeing people were, a little bit reluctant when those lumber prices went extremely high. But I still think people had a lot of money and they were at home early in the pandemic. So they were willing to take those risks and go ahead and get those things done because they were there every day and they wanted to see something get done at their homes. And sometimes even just with home additions that it can cost a lot more than just a fence or a deck. People were willing to do it early on in the pandemic, I think, and we've seen it quite slow down quite a bit even now. Of course, it's winter, and prices are still kind of turbulent, but I think some of the money is starting to dry up, so we're starting to see that a little bit. So I guess to answer your question, it was more robust and more plentiful early on in the pandemic because I think it was a more money in the money supply versus now.
Yeah, it's unique to look at, the cost of materials going up, but with everybody being home, the just desire to take on home projects and that sort of thing definitely kind of went up with it too.
Hey, Caleb, I got just so you know, economics is my favorite subject. So I might say M2, I might say money supply, I might say, things that people don't realize. I love economics. So just so everybody know, I love economics.
Awesome.
Well, we love you.
Yeah. And I'll have one more question I'll ask before I go. There's some in the chat, but but the last question I have from me is, having worked with you in the past, through Startup Junkie and Kiva, know that you've kind of utilized some of those resources that are out there in the community. Can you speak to some of that, like the opportunity to access resources like Kiva or other entities?
Absolutely. I think that's a trend going on, especially with people, minorities, that don't have access to necessarily traditional funding. I think that's been a big point here in Northwest Arkansas, and I'm sure around the country as from a macro standpoint and a micro standpoint. So being able to get a Kiva loan was, paramount to my business and starting it off because, I didn't have that access into I've been to banks and, they told me no. And some of it's because it's my fault, not having enough financial literacy growing up as a kid and just not having that backing. My parents, we were poor, and they didn't teach me how to manage money or manage the books and stuff. So I had to learn it as I got out of high school and through college. So yeah, I think that's a big impact and it's still impacting people to this day. I also see that, with those, and obviously Black businesses are like one of the highest, female Black businesses are one of the highest rate growing businesses in the country. So, and I think some of that is because of loans like Kiva or even Forge. So we definitely are thankful for the, non-traditional resources from a capital standpoint, because that's one of the things about this business is capital intensive. Because we have to buy the materials regardless of how they go up. We want to remain competitive, regardless if they go. Our prices of labor have to kind of stay within the marketplace, because then we won't get the job because of that. So having the access to capital and having more access to capital as we grow and get more materials and equipment is paramount. And I'm almost prepared to pay my loan back so we can get more, so we can get to the point that I got some big equipment that I'm trying to get. So it's just evolution is a good problem to have, but I'm thankful to be able to have that access for sure.
Awesome. There's a nice little plug for both the Bessie Be More Center and Startup Junkie with access to capital and financial literacy education importance. We have another question from Jennifer. She said, have you embraced the YouTube / DIY trends at all? For example, do you make videos for your company showing how you do things?
Both. So I got a few videos on there from my company doing things, but I also look at stuff that we don't necessarily know how to do. So it's such, it's like you learn as you go in some of this stuff. Like we actually use that to our advantage to be able to sit down. Like, look, we don't know how to do this, so we go and look and figure it out. Of course, some of those things are not dangerous or weight bearing. It's just some one little thing that somebody else knows how to do, just like anybody from a DIY standpoint. So both. We got a few videos that we put out, but we use it on the other hand and look at things that we may or may not know how to do.
Awesome. Any more questions?
Well, it's kind of a personal one. I was going to type it, but I guess I'll go ahead and ask it. Carl, are you in Fayetteville?
I am in Fayetteville.
Okay. I happen to know a landscaper very well, and sometimes his clients need structures built, wooden structures, gazebos, and things like that. So I probably need your information.
Absolutely. I can get it to you, or Caleb can get it to you. He has it. Definitely can get that to you.
Absolutely. And I can, if you're okay with that, Carl, I can copy you on the email. We record these videos and we'll send them out to everybody that registered, and I can copy you on there as well, so people can reach out if they have additional questions or want to know more about the business.
Okay.
And I was happy to hear him say he goes to YouTube to learn things, because that seems to be the place you go when you need information.
Absolutely.
It is.
Awesome. Well, if there are no more questions, and if the Carpenters are not with us yet, I hope everything's all right on their end. But I guess we will jump from our formal programming to trivia. Carl, I appreciate you so much for being here and taking questions and sharing your story. Really appreciate it. I know everybody else did too.
No problem. Thank everybody.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Carl.
Not a problem. Thank y'all.
All right, go to trivia. And what were you about to say, Rita?
Well, I was just going to go ahead and put the link in for Economics Arkansas. Will provide a free curriculum or book on entrepreneurs to anyone attending. So I'm going to put the link in, and you just put your information and check what you want, and make sure you include your mailing address, and they will have that sent to you. So, who doesn't want some cool free materials if you're a teacher?
Exactly. She's going to drop that in the chat. Take advantage of those resources. No reason not to, right? So feel free to take advantage, and I will show you all now how to participate in our trivia. All right, starting now. All right, everyone, for those of you that are not familiar with the Kahoot, pull up your phone and go to kahoot.it. So your phone is going to be your game piece. If you have another monitor and you want to throw it up alongside another window, you're welcome to do that. But use your phone as your game piece, kahoot.it. You'll be prompted to put in that code right there, 6317765. And then you throw your name in, and we'll see it on the screen. So we got Vance, Peyton, Jenny. And then we will have, so based on the results, first place winner will receive a $30 Amazon gift card that we will have emailed to you. Second place will be $20, and third place will get $10. Give it just another second for everybody to jump on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that might be All of us here. If you haven't, you're trying to log in, you haven't yet, shout or something because I'm about to proceed.
You
One,
can
two.
go ahead and start because the number will be up there.
It's true. All right. Kahoot at work. Startup culture in the classroom edition. First question. Which Carpenter family member was the original farmer? Was it Katie, Abraham Sr., Francisco, or Abraham Jr.? And I misspelled Francisco. Kahoot does not have spell check.
I noticed it's a problem.
They need to work on that. Katie was the correct answer.
It wasn't showing, like, it was just color coded. It wasn't showing.
Uh-oh. Didn't show the names on your end? Uh-oh.
I didn't see them.
Well, if it doesn't show the names on their answer sheet, they do coincide with the colors on the. If you can see the names on the shared screen, they will coincide color wise.
Oh, okay. So I need to put it on a picture, huh? How do you do that?
This is new to you.
Learning on the fly.
Yeah, like I'm so bad.
All right. Peyton is in the lead, followed by Pam and Dan. Next question is a true or false question. The Carpenter family enables the family to spend more quality time together. Is that true in blue, or is that false in red? True or false? True is the correct answer. Good job, everybody.
Although I just want y'all to think about this. Where is that family time? As they were picking that okra, I was thinking of how scratchy that is if you pick okra and so forth.
Well,
I like gardening, but that was a little over the top.
Yeah, and I can think back to some childhood summer days shelling peas. And that's definitely some quality family time, especially if you're intentionally going slow. So if you finish your bucket, you're just going to get another one. How many fruits and vegetables are now produced by Carpenter Farms? 15, 30, 75, or 20? The answer is 30. Wow, Peyton's on fire and in the lead. Next question, true or false? Carpenter produce goes as far as Chicago and California. Is that true or is that false? So go to Chicago and California or just the Little Rock River Market? True.
And actually, they're in other markets. It wasn't in that video. So I think they started in Pine Bluff, and then there's another city in the region. Maybe it's as far as Memphis. I'm not sure.
Where is Grady exactly?
I'm going to say it's not too far from Pine Bluff. I kind of have to look it up again. I did look it up, but my memory doesn't tell me exactly. But right down in the Delta where you have all the row crop farming, which while it's on hold, let me just say, what I thought was really impressive about their business is they're in the Delta where everybody's getting bigger farms and big equipment and doing row crops. And instead they looked the other way. You know, he looked and said, wow, my wife's making more money. I want to do what she's doing, or, you know, let's expand what she's doing. So they just took that idea, but they went against the grain, which I think so many times entrepreneurs see those possibilities.
See the gaps in the market that they can take advantage of for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. True or false? Carpenter Farms has received national and state recognition. Is that true? Or is that false? True. Glad everybody got that one right.
And I will add to that, since they haven't shown, I'm just adding what I've learned from reading about them, that they had several programs where they worked within state and national agriculture organizations to help other farmers to become better educated and better compete and so forth. So they've had a real emphasis on giving back and helping other farmers.
Some great resources there too. Next question. In what industry did Carl Dunn work in before starting Dunn Co? Is he in transportation logistics, digital marketing, underwater basket weaving, or pharma sales?
Okay, is someone going to be funny and choose one of those?
What's it gonna be? Digital marketing. Yes, somebody did. All right, let's look at the leaderboard. Oh, Jenny Craig just took the lead. Next question.
She's pretty competitive.
What was the job that Carl Dunn took on that led him to start his company? Was it building a fence, putting on a new roof, painting a house, or fixing a water leak? If you'll remember, he mentioned someone asked him about a specific job and y'all got it. That was fast. Good job. Yep, Jenny's on fire. Question 8. Which of these community small business resources did both Black Paper Party and Carl Dunn utilize? And I forgot to mention that Black Paper Party used this, but we did mention it with Carl during the Q&A. Is Kiva NWA. And for those of you that are not familiar with Kiva NWA, it is a micro loan platform. It's an international organization, nonprofit, and it allows people to raise loans with no interest and no fees in a crowd-based style, kind of like Kickstarter. So you are loaned a certain amount in $25 increments from the community to fund an entire anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000 to put towards startup costs.
So I think Carl's still on here. So I just wanted to add in that Kiva built on the program that Mohammed Yunus created, which was micro lending, because people with fewer assets cannot get loans. And Yunus studied economics in the US, went back to Pakistan, and was looking and trying to figure out how he could help the people who were so poor to have opportunity. And there's actually a children's book about him called 22 Cents, because he figured with very small amounts of money, he could loan them and they could buy a tool or something to improve their business. So, but that was a very hands-on, face-to-face program that actually used to operate in Southern Arkansas a long time ago when Clinton was governor. And then they did something nationally a little bit when he became president. But now Kiva has gone in and taken the whole concept and made it digital, which makes it so easy to use. I think that was a cool innovation there.
And you can go to the kiva-nwa.org website and see active lenders. I think there are 2 people on there right now that are raising for their small businesses here locally. Next question. True or false? Black Paper Party has decided to solely focus only on Christmas holiday season wrapping papers. Is that true or is that false? False. They said at the end of that video that they are moving into year-round production for all kinds of things.
And y'all have to check out their link because they have really cool things.
They're doing some cool stuff. Jenny Craig remains in the lead, but it's close. Pam is a tight second with 1 more question left. Which one of these was not a reason for starting Black Paper Party? Cultural representation, bringing joy, world domination, or helping others make memories with loved ones, not loves ones. Stopping too fast, obviously. Please forgive me.
You're forgiven. If you overlook mine.
All right. That was not one of their reasons. Let's see who our leaderboard is. Jenny in 3rd place. Pam in second. And Jenny Craig in first place. So y'all know what to do. I think y'all participated in that before. What you should do is email me on the same thread that I emailed you the Zoom link, so that I can send you your Amazon gift card for winning. Thank you everyone for participating. Thank you again, Carl, for being here and speaking to everybody. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you sharing your story. Look forward to seeing what more comes out of that, and just getting everybody connected with you on that. Rita, do you have any final?
Well, since we've finished in plenty of time, if they would just go ahead and click that link and do it right now, it would make us all very happy, and it'll keep Marsha off my back telling me that these people participated and she didn't hear from them.
Yeah, make sure you do the homework. It's not even homework, it's just requesting some very valuable free resources. All right. And with that, we'll let everybody go back to their Monday evening. Hope everybody has a great week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you, guys. And we're always open to ideas. So if you all have entrepreneurs that you want to share with us or topics we can cover, Caleb and I would love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
All right.
See y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.